Hello, my name is Jeremy. This is Red Beans Recording, and welcome to what I believe will be the last video in a series of videos on the Ashun Sounds Machine Hydrasynth. This synthesizer is amazing, and that's why there are so many videos that I put out about its walkthrough, because each section is just full of stuff to experiment with. We have gone over the entire synth up to this point, except for the arpeggiator, the randomize function, and the browser and save function. And I know those seem a little boring, but I guarantee you that at least two of those are not boring. So, welcome to this video. Let's get started talking about our friend here. We are going to go to a new preset here and initialize it. And we're going to start talking about the arpeggiator. So, let's go ahead and turn it on and hit latch so that we can latch it, which means that whatever I play here will continue playing. Okay, so we can hit tap tempo and clock it that way. If we go into shift edit, we can also adjust the tempo here, and let's go ahead and initialize that so we get even tempo. Obviously, you can clock this to an external source. And next up is division. So division is going to be the basic division unit of the ARP itself. And guess what? That's modulatable. So I'm in the ARP edit page here, but I'm using the control over here, and you can see that it's responding over there. I can also do that here. And there are more things here than there are over here, including triplet divisions. Swing! Very nice to have. Your gate, so if this was a longer sound, that would have an effect on it. Octave mode. Pretty standard stuff. Octaves up. And then the mode. So we have mode over here as too. It's the order that you played the keys in. Random. And chord, which is actually pretty useful. Finally, we have phrase. Now, this thing doesn't have a sequencer built into it, but the arpeggiator does have lots of phrases like the Novation Peak does. You can hear that they're actually like little musical snippets. So if I go into the next page of the arpeggiator, edit here, I can change the phrases. A lot of them sound like straight up Mortal Kombat stuff. I haven't found one that I really want to use yet, but I guess it's nice that they're there. Let's go back up to here and change this to something like that, something simple. You can change the overall length of the arpeggiator phrase here. And I want to see real quick if I can go into the mod matrix. Macro assign, edit. What else do we have from the ARP? Do we have length? Yeah, cool. So in the macros, which we talked about in I think in the last video, if I go into my ARP, change this to 1. Go back into my macros, edit this. Yeah, so I have ARP length set to 128. So now I can macro the phrase length. And if it can be macroed, it can be modulated as well. So you can get an ever-evolving sort of like length of your phrase there, which is pretty cool. Let's talk about the chants and ratchet thing. Ratchet is like a little flourish of timed hits that will play, and chants is the chance that those ratchets will happen. And by adjusting these, you can get some very cool variation on your arpeggio. And guess what? We can modulate those too. Let's go into our mod matrix, assign LFO4 ARP ratchet, and then we'll assign LFO5 to ARP chance. Edit these. And now we've created even more sort of uncertainty in our signal by having LFOs modulate whether or not the chance of ratchet will happen or whether or not it will be a particularly fast ratchet or not. We're missing a few of those controls over here on the desktop. You can see that we're missing tempo, ratchet, chance, and gate, but those are just a shift edit away, and you can get into the menu and adjust them. So, and they're all still modulatable in the desktop version. So that is the Arpeggiator. Very, very powerful, very, very cool. I love it. Next, we're going to talk about random. By holding shift, I can move through the banks very fast. So I'm going to go to my D-Bank where I have some of these random patches. So first I'm going to play a couple of these for you, and then we're going to just hit random a few times and see what happens. Random, depending on how you use it, can either randomize an entire patch, entire thing, or just portions of the engine. And it really shows off how insane this thing can be with very creative modulation. Sometimes it's unusable, but the cool thing is because you can randomize individual sections here, you can kind of like introduce some chance at more quantized sort of level. In previous videos, I have randomized the wave list for the wavetable, and it's given me some really, really cool results. So there's one random patch. Here's another one. I went for these ones that were like very noisy and kind of drony. Now, it randomizes the macro assigns here too, so you may not get something particularly useful out of the macros, but you can always go and readjust those. Never knew I wanted to be a noise artist until I started hitting random. This is really, really cool. It's so cool. So we're going to go to a knit patch here, and let's just hit random. Hopefully this won't get too loud. By just hitting random once, you will have the ability to randomize the entire patch. And see what happens. And one thing you have to be careful with is that these patches can get really loud, the random patches. So keep your volume down when you're randomizing patches for the first preview. So that's kind of cool. Let's hit random again. Whoa. Sounds like that's randomizing the wave list there. Let's hit random again. No. Now that's cool. Of course, you can go over here and look at the visual feedback and see where something might be happening and make small adjustments. It really likes to loop the envelope twice for some reason, and I don't know why, so a lot of times I'll go in and adjust that and make sure that one shot is off for all my LFOs, just so I have something that's evolving a bit more. And then I'll usually go into the amp envelope and adjust this, because it usually introduces a hole and delay, and I don't really want that. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff you end up getting from random. Very noisy, cool, complex drones. So let's init the patch again and just randomize some different sections. So oscillator 1, I can randomize that. See, now it says oscillator 1. Do you want to randomize it? Yes, I do. Now, that's not going to do a whole lot. It's just going to give us one particular random wave, and it's going to randomize the pitch and stuff like that. So if we want to get more interesting with this, we can go into wave scan mode and hit edit and randomize all these by holding random and just pressing them. And now we have a random assortment of waves to go through. So that's kind of cool. Let's randomize the mod matrix. Nothing really happened. So let's turn up some more stuff. Yeah. That's kind of cool. By doing it this way, as opposed to just doing the whole patch at once, you can sort of, you know, get to little sweet spots without changing the entire patch. Let's go ahead and randomize our LFOs. Cool. So then we could randomize our pre-effect to something interesting. Sounds like we have some modulation on that. Randomize our reverb. And sort of adjust to taste. And then randomize our post-effects. Randomize your filters. It's kind of neat. A little sci-fi drone there. Let's randomize our macros. And then, of course, we could go back and randomize our, let's see, oscillator 2. Whoop, I just generated a new patch. My bad. That's wild. The random button with a synth with this much modulation is like being able to reassign all of your modular cables in a Eurorack system to different things randomly. You got a little robot that can do that for you. That's what this would be like, because there's so much sound shaping and so much modulation that can happen. These like deep drones, these deep weird sounds, I've just been saving some of them now and then because I just want to sample them. I just want to like do something, a little noise project, or I want to have them playing in the background of a modular piece or something like that. So, you know, not always musical results, but always interesting results most of the time. Oh, yeah. So just re-randomizing the macro assignments so you get something that gives you a little bit more control is pretty cool. But because the macros have a base level, this bottom level here, it might sometimes change the sound. So that is random. You can randomize the entire patch, or you can randomize different sections of the patch, including the mutates, which we didn't really show off. Very powerful, very cool tool to just like have the robot spit something crazy out at you. And generally it is crazy. But hey, if you're looking for like horror and sci-fi drones, just hit random. You'll get one. So that leads us into the last part of this walkthrough, and that will be probably the least sexy part of it, but also pretty good, which is the browser save and favorite functions. So I have this. Let me make something that I want to keep. Tune our oscillators. So I kind of like this sound. I want to save it. I'm going to hit save. I can choose where. I can name it. I can give it a category. I can choose whether or not I want to save the macros in their current position. And I can also give it a color on this LED wheel, which is pretty fancy. So as you scroll through presets, you'll visually be able to see like what color they are, and you can come up with that on your own. So we're going to call this ambient, and we're going to name it by turning the wheel here. Shift will jump between blank, number, capital, lowercase, and symbol. So for instance, if I wanted to call this like rand, press this button to go to the next one, go back, sort of use shift in conjunction with the wheel to get to the parts that you need to. Hit this again. You can see this is a little tedious, but you know, naming things is important. Randron. Okay, that's fine. So we gave it a category. I'm not going to mess with the color. And then I'm going to hit save because I am in an empty thing right there. Saving will stop the audio. Just keep that in mind. So like, just keep that in mind. Not all synths stop the audio when they save, but this one does. Browsing is robust. You can, just scroll around. You can hold shift to jump between lettered banks. You can also compare patches, and you can sort by category. You can also change the sorting here. So right now it's default by number, but you can also change it by name. Also in here is the ability to assign a favorite, and I will do that right now. I'm going to hit this button, and I'm going to go into the 4 pages of favorites. I have already saved a bunch of favorites here because I wanted to show off particular presets, which hopefully I've been playing during the intros and outros of these series. So I'm going to go down to page 4 here where I have not saved anything yet, and I'm going to hit the button corresponding to one of these slots, and now I've saved a favorite. So if I want to load a favorite, I can go shift favorite, load one of these, and it's loaded. So obviously favorites are useful for a couple different things. Gigging musicians, if you just want to make sure that you have a list of things like a playlist that you want to show off for a YouTube video, or, if you start developing a live set and you just want to have stuff ready for you there. Very, very useful. So that, my friends, is it. That is the last bit I wanted to show you about the ASM Hydrasynth, the Ashun Sounds Machine Hydrasynth. I really want to say Ashun, but that's not cool. Anyways, I hope this has been informative. I hope I have been able to show you how powerful and well-designed this thing is. As an aside, it's metal, great keybed, metal, built like a fucking tank. I think they knocked it out of the park with this. Like, I know that a lot of times people use hyperbole to describe things, but it's all deserved with this. This is just an insane piece of kit that they have come up with. A couple things that I have not shown you that you can do is the CV gate stuff. You can polychain these. So I don't have enough room on my desk to polychain this and the desktop unit, but you can. It's something you can do. Thank you for joining me in this journey through the ASM Hydrasynth. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you like this video and learned something, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more synth content. Support me on Patreon if you want. There's lots of music there that I have uploaded from all of these videos. And yeah, thank you for watching. My name is Jeremy. This is Red Means Recording. I don't know what that is. My name is Jeremy. This is Red Means Recording. I hope you have a wonderful day.